Good morning, guys. Just got an opportunity to go out on a dive boat with Cebu Diving Center, and I'm going to be going on one of his boats to show you guys how they dive here in the Philippines, or how they dive here in Cebu. In America, you got different kinds of boats, and here they've got the outrigger boats, and so they get on and off the boat a little different. And also, too, by me going out there with them, I can show you what the island looks like from Moalboal looks like from the water. So I've talked to Cameron, and he's invited me to come out on his boats with his captain and the dive crew today, and that's what we're going to do. So I'll get a little bit of clips here for you, and I'll show you how it's done here in Moalboal. Cebu Dive Center. Real nice folks that own it too. And here's your website information and an email.
So it'll be very, very spacious.
Okay, this is Cameron. He runs the charters here at Cebu Diving Center. Anything you want to tell him?
Apart from I'm tired from doing my sledgehammer workout, but I've got no energy now.
Okay. How much are your dives?
900 pesos a dive, and you have to add 100 pesos for the marine fee for every boat trip.
Okay.
And then we only charge once a day for equipment, 300 pesos a day, unless you've got your own, in which case you don't pay.
So if I were to come here without equipment, and my equipment would cost me
300 a day, everything.
That's everything. Gas, air, tanks, everything.
Everything, even buoys, fins, wetsuit, whatever you need.
Wow. Now, for guys like me that have never dived, believe it or not, I have never dived. I've had my own boats and taken divers out. Been a captain for many years. What does it take if somebody that hasn't dove, about them coming here and diving? What do they have to do? Can they get a...
Absolutely. If you do a full certification, a PADI certification, good morning, Ying. Full PADI certification will cost you 15,450 pesos, roughly $350 US. But you can do it. We do two agencies here. We do PADI and we do also SDI, Scuba Diving International, and that will cost you 12,950, slightly cheaper.
Okay. Now, how long does it take? If I were to come here on a vacation, how long would it take me to get that certification before I could go out on your boat? Because
our classes are kind of individually tailored around the students themselves, and they're small groups, and they're performance-based. All these courses are performance-based. If you're good in the water, 4 days.
4 days.
Yeah.
Well, that's not bad. So if you can get certified before you come here, what kind of proof do you have to have? Do you have a current PADI card?
If you're already a qualified diver, it doesn't matter which agency you're qualified with. There's so many. There's PADI, NAUI, SSI, SDI.
It's just like a card?
BZAC, CMAS. Yeah, everyone comes with a certification card. As long as you're qualified and you're fairly current. If you've not been diving in a while, we'll blow the cobwebs off you first before we take you out on any of the more serious dives.
That's smart.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm already grey enough. I don't need to go any greyer.
Well, there you go.
Look after your customers, look after my greying, aging. But yeah, we'll look at, as long as you're qualified, no problem.
Okay.
If you're not qualified, then obviously as long as you can swim, we can take care of that as well.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you letting me come out here with you today, and I'm going to get on the boat. Is this the boat out here?
This is the boat right here.
Okay. Well, that's going to be our boat, guys. And everybody's getting ready. We leave here in a little while, and I'll get you some clips as we're leaving. And thank you for watching. Okay, he's going to show us here this little map here, what this is about.
Well, it's completely not to scale, hence why Pescador Island's about the size of Africa on this map.
And that's where we're going to be going out here, guys.
But it should be about this big on here. It's completely out of scale.
That's okay.
But effectively, you've got Pescador Island, which has several dive sites, and it is quite deep out there, up to 50 plus metres on some of the walls. And then all these dive sites are basically named after any geographical location. For instance, Dolphin House, there's no dolphins living in a house there, but you've got a hotel called Dolphin House.
Okay.
Umbrella's called Umbrella because there's these rock structures there that kind of, to me, they look like mushrooms. Yeah, okay. They stick out of the ocean and they kind of look like a mushroom, but they call it Umbrella because they look like umbrellas.
It's a good term, okay.
White Beach, obviously, because that's where White Beach is. And then Tongo, I live around the corner from Tongo, but Tongo's Tongo Point, that is the area. So effectively you have a wall from here all the way up to Ronda Bay. The contours of the wall vary, the depth at the base of the wall varies slightly, and there's little caves as well along there in certain sections that will suck and blow depending on the tides.
Okay, what is your diving depths that you go to?
Typically, because it's wall diving, we'll start the dive at around 25 to 30 metres, and we plan it as a multi-level dive. So you will start around either 30 or 25 depending on the site, and then you will slowly come shallower throughout the dive. And if you're wearing a computer, you'll notice that by the end of the dive, in the last sort of 20 minutes, you've got bags of time because you really haven't spent that long down at 25 or 30 metres.
Okay.
And the majority of the dive has been spent at shallower levels. But the guys will take them down there to begin with because they may know that there's something specific down there that they want to show them, like the electric clams down in Tongo. In the cave there. These clams then, they call them electric clams because they reflect light and it gives the impression that there's electricity pulsing through them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Quite neat to see. There might be a pygmy seahorse that they've identified in recent weeks and they kind of know where it's hanging out, and so they'll go specifically to that first and then they'll come shallower. The guys kind of know where they're taking people along the way.
It's kind of like us as a boat captain and deep sea fisher. We know where the fish are. Yeah. We follow them, we know where to go.
But you can't really get lost here because you're either going that way or that way because it's a wall.
Okay, now what about the sardines or whatever that's been schooling? They used to school out here and now you say they're out here.
Well, when I first got here, it was difficult to get a straight answer out of anybody. They were on Pescador for several years, and at that time, because they're on Pescador and it's out in the deep a little bit, they had thresher sharks hunting them quite frequently. They moved from there and then they moved again to here, right outside the house reef here. So they're right off our shore.
Right.
You can walk in. And we have had threshers from time to time hunting. This time last year they were here around Augusty time, and they were back again this year. Now they have been here before.
Okay.
One of the dive masters who's been taking dives around here for many years told me that before they were on Pescador many years ago, they were here again. So they do relocate from time to time.
Okay, they're schooling.
But
yeah.
Fingers crossed, they'll stay here for a bit longer because it's very convenient for me.
Yeah. What are these guys out here doing now? They're diving. Is that on a reef? Are they looking for the? What are they looking for? Are they training? Practicing?
No, they're not training. They're local guys. Probably fishing for small things and stuff like that.
Okay, sea urchins and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of thing. They're not allowed to net fish between here where the June dive boat is all the way down to where Saavedra houses are. They're not supposed to net fish between that. It's supposed to be a protected area.
Okay, can you show me where you might have any whale sharks out there?
Whale sharks will pass by from time to time. They have been spotted within the last year because they'll migrate through here, so they could be anywhere. They've passed Pescador Island. We heard a rumour that they were spotted off Dolphin House and off the Tongo Point. But it was the ticket collectors that collect the marine fees that told us that they spotted one a while.
Wow, okay.
But they're migratory, so it's potluck. You know. Okay.
I remember I did video in Oslo.
Yeah, but they feed them at Oslo, so you're guaranteed.
Yeah, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
That's not something I personally agree with. I used to work in Africa, and you don't go wandering around the Serengeti chucking steaks at lions.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, so. That's interesting. Well, again, thank you very much. We can get out on the boat and see what kind of day we can have. Give you a little tour of his setup here. We've got his dive shop in here, his regulators and mask and fins and goggles and everything. You got your tank set up here. Oxygen over here. We got three tanks all set up and ready to go. Back over on this side back here, we've got they've got a wet bar, so you get in from the dive, you can have something cool to drink. And I believe he's got some rooms here for rent too. Now, I didn't understand you saying you had rooms for rent?
We've got a couple. One's there's occupied at the moment, and because we're having the CR is being remodeled in the equipment room, we're kind of using this room as a public CR at the moment, so there's no guests.
And how much are your rooms?
1,300 a night. They have a hot shower and aircon.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, they're basic, but that's
all you need.
Yeah. Basic, but they're clean.
Yeah, nobody comes here to sit around in a hotel room. They want to get out and enjoy the island. Yeah,
that's it. And if you hear the compressor going off at 7:30 in the morning, that's your cue for breakfast.
That's right.
You should be on the boat an hour later.
Okay. Well, he's set up well here. He's got a lot of inventory here, guys.